As so many people were happy to hear the news about Jimmy Kimmel, so too was Jon Stewart, who had recently sort of parodied the need for the media to now be total like North Korean style state media to not get banned. And Jon Stewart greeted the return of Kimmel to the airwaves by acknowledging this media campaign that was put on Disney to get them to do this. Although he called the campaign, that campaign that you all launched pretending that you were gonna cancel Hulu while secretly racing through 4 seasons of Only Murders in the Building. It really worked, congratulations. And so look, I think it is true that not everybody necessarily, well, first of all, not everybody even knew that all these things even were Disney. Like, why is Disney Plus and Hulu? Why do you have both of those things? You have Disney Plus. Why do you need Hulu? But whatever. And I do grant that Only Murders in the Building is a great reason to potentially abandon all your values and keep Hulu or whatever. But it did work. And Stewart goes on to say, it was rather shocking that this turnaround occurred because I was told that the original decision to get rid of Jimmy had nothing to do with the Trump administration and their explicit FCC threat that they could remove the show the easy way or the hard way, which that's the official line from the Trump administration, is that this wasn't us. And many right wingers on Twitter replied to my tweet saying, no, it was just ABC. ABC just made the decision. I mean, I'm cheering for it and Trump is cheering for it, but it wasn't Trump. This has nothing to do with the First Amendment. But anyway, it did happen and they're bringing it back. He will be broadcasting tonight. We will see what that looks like. What is he gonna say? The company put out a statement saying last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. And it is an emotional moment for our country. But was the tension with right wingers who don't watch the show anyway, or was the tension again? It was Brendan Carr. That's what it was. It's an emotional moment. I mean, I get emotional when the First Amendment is being shredded. But I have a feeling that's probably not what they were talking about there. And so Viviana, he's gonna be back and we'll see. Maybe he'll be free to do whatever he wants. Maybe he'll continue to provide a check on the Trump administration, or maybe not. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be the highest ratings he's ever had. That's for sure.
That's a good point, actually.
I wish I was a fly on the wall in those conversations. What were they called? The productive conversations or sensitivity conversations that Disney had with him, ABC had with the Kimmel. So I will, use my crystal ball and say that he's gonna be a little softer because he wants to still get paid. That's what it's about always, I'm sorry.
Well, look, I will say, and again, I don't consider myself a simp for Jimmy Kimmel. I don't even watch Jimmy Kimmel, although I'll probably watch tonight. I'll probably watch it on YouTube. But anyway, he does have 200 employees. That's a lot of families that rely on the show existing. You know what it's like when LA has shut down a lot of that stuff. Or is he in New York, actually? I think he's in Hollywood. But anyway, that does affect a lot of people.
He's here.
Yeah. I think he's in West Hollywood, actually. I'm not sure. But anyway,
he's right. He's right on Hollywood Boulevard.
On Hollywood Boulevard, yeah, he's near the Walk of Fame. Theater. He's like right near. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, he's on the Walk of Fame. Yeah.
Now, some of you might well not be able to see it when it returns because Sinclair is insisting that they are not going to put it back on again because of the FCC. Like they can pretend that it's because, Jimmy said a thing that he didn't say or whatever. And Jimmy mocked Charlie Kirk, which he didn't. He mocked Donald Trump for fake grieving, which that's what Trump was doing. So again, like they don't want Brendan Carr to be mad at them. They have big business mergers ahead. And that's what they're focusing on. And they're pretending that it's about values when it's not. Nexstar, by the way, the other one also says that they're gonna continue to preempt Jimmy Kimmel. So we're back in that situation now where some of these really conservative owners of these broadcast licenses are like, no, we're just gonna enforce our politics and that's what people will be able to see. And they do it again, they do it for their own business interests. And they're pitching themselves as like, we're concerned about serving our community. They're gonna soon be able to broadcast to like 80% of US households. This is not some local small values thing. This is as big of business as it can be. And so we'll see if they eventually end up putting it back on, but for now that they're not. And just understand the right is really complaining about this. Megyn Kelly and Matt Walsh and all that. Again, they're like, no, we're supposed to be able to cancel anybody who makes us mad. How dare you put him back on? Again, they could just not watch him. I'm sure that they don't, by the way, but it's not enough for these people. They have to
Yeah.
believe that the right is winning in some abstract sense, even if it means setting fire to the Constitution. So final thoughts to you, Viviana, coming out of this incident. Do you think, are we gonna have a nice pause on hosts being fired for their politics? Or do you think they move on to, Seth and Jimmy or whatever? What do you think?
Oh, I definitely think it's going to be ramped up. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I wonder how much this reversal that ABC did has to do with the supposed lawsuit that Jimmy was going to file against them. So, at the end of the day, it's money, but this cancel culture is here. The right may not have had any problems with it this time, but they often did in the past. So hypocrisy is strong. And as we're seeing with the Supreme Court, laws really aren't as fixed as we thought they were before. So I think we're gonna see a lot more of this.
Yeah, even though in this case, there's like 3 different Supreme Court decisions that make clear the government can't put pressure on broadcasters in this particular way, but the right wants it. And so we'll see. So anyway, he's gonna be coming back on today. So definitely tune in to Big News Wednesday. Yesterday, Sharon and I will be giving our thoughts about his monologue. Like I don't have a ton of experience watching Jimmy Kimmel, so I'm not necessarily the person to go to in terms of predictions of what he'll do. I am sure he seems like the sort of guy that wants to bring people together. He's not like he's not a bomb thrower. He's just not. No matter how much Matt Walsh wants to pretend that he is, he's just not. And I'm sure he's experiencing a lot of pressure from Disney to like say something to placate the right, who are the most placated subculture in the world right now, and it's never enough. Again, I'll point out as we close, I know we have a lot of other news to get to, like they keep wanting to believe that the left was really mean after Charlie Kirk died. And that could not be further from the truth, including Jimmy Kimmel. Like repeatedly over and over talking about how much a tragedy it is. And it was never enough for them. It was never gonna be enough. And by the way, hopefully we'll never have to test this hypothesis. But if the shoe was on the other foot, and I know that it already has been basically with people like the state legislator being killed. But let's say a commentator gets killed on the left. I guarantee there's not going to be an outpouring of support from the right the way that there already was from the left. These people are hypocritical to their core because it's not about the values. They want the opposition with the left. They want the left to be the villain that they pretend that they are, and they want them to be the victim that they constantly pretend that they are. But anyway, I'm sure Jimmy Kimmel will be much nicer about it tonight, and tune in tomorrow, we'll talk about it.
If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?